Hello guys, my name is Troublmaker, and I'm climbing the ladder. My goal is to hit Masters, and I'm going to be showing off the builds and the tactics and the methods that I'll be doing to get there. I've been Masters 3 times before, and in the last season I lost my entry match, my placement match. I actually just joined in and left it, and they placed me in Platinum instead of Diamond or Masters. So we're going to do some builds and some tactics. This one will be another 4-tank push. So the goal of our PvP is to push between 12 and 8 minutes. If we can do pushes between 12 and 8 minutes, we're pretty golden. So, you know, doing standard stuff, just getting to the build part. I have my fast expand up, Mariner out, and you know, at this point you do get supply blocked. The depot is going down. Depot, this gets supply blocked. It almost always happens in this build. There's no way around it. And as soon as we have the money for the gas, we're going to get some gases. So there's 1, there's 2. We have the double gas. As soon as we get 100 gas, we're going to build a factory. So we're just continue pumping out these Marines. I've been tweaking with this build quite a bit, playing around with it, seeing what works, what doesn't. I added on this reactors to this barracks to double productivity of it. Didn't quite work out for me. You're much better off getting the tech lab and getting early ups. But whatever. We're getting our tanks out, get the starport down. Coinciding with the starport, we have our 3rd gas. We have him guarding both of these towers very wisely. He actually took a gateway nexus instead of a cyber network, and now he's going for his 3rd. Now, I scanned him. What do I get? See? 1 gateway, and that's, you know, this is robotics. So I know he's going to go for a 3rd. So what we have to do is threaten. It's not 12 minutes, we can't push yet, but we sure as hell can threaten. So what happens as soon as we threaten? Well, a lot more gateways, upgrades. You know, he's suddenly spending his money elsewhere. He's no longer thinking about getting that expansion. So he stopped breaking down the rocks because he's expecting an attack, and he's warping in unit instead of expanding. So just the threat of force. We didn't commit. We just went in, killed the probe, and ran. He doesn't know where my army is. Well, he does now. He knows I'm running because this guy didn't clear off that tower. Gotta remember that, clear off that tower. And, you know, he warped in too much. He's done too many upgrades, and so we can't really do this. He's getting the charge lots, which is smart. Charge lots are really good. And, going back to what I'm doing, we have tank 1, 2, 3. And a 4th one, I think, is stuck in a medivac somewhere. I rallied a medivac to the tank, and it picked up the tank. Yeah, there it is. So I got 4 tanks. We're at the 10-minute, 50-second marker, 10 to 30. We got combat shields coming up instead of stim. Just a little tweak I made. I want to try it out, see how it works out. Ends up not so good. Not nearly as good as stim in this early push. I am supply blocked. I probably should supply drop. Do I have enough energy for one? Yes, I do. I'm a kind of a cheap player too. I'm building 1 supply depot right now. Got the 2 going up. So that supply will end, but might as well push. I should be watching my army and seeing this little thing here, but I'm not. I can't remember why I'm not. I think I'm macroing at home and just not watching that point. But yeah, we're done building tanks right now. This is all the tanks we'll have for the game. This is a pretty sizable tank force. Behind this we are getting a command center. He's already got us down 50%, so he's a little bit ahead. But this is getting close to that 12-minute marker, and this is the perfect time for a push. So, you know, simple thing that we're going to do is we're going to siege up this area here, and we set the poke. Now he's got his army here, preparing for the drop, because I got medivacs. I mean, the common tactic here is to push the front, drop the main, and even if they clean up your front, they can't clean up your main. So when we're going up the ramp, this is a little bit risque, just because I don't have the medivacs in front. And here comes a lot of zealots with charge. Zealots are particularly good against siege tanks, but when you have if you have too many, they clump up and they take sick amounts of damage. So I have 1 on siege tank here, not an accident. Siege tanks do insanely good DPS on sieged, and he just was late for the show, and I wanted to keep him there. So he's targeting down the siege tanks. This is why the stim works out better. It's because they're going to target down those siege tanks, and you just want Marines to peel fast. So I added in 1 Marauder, you know, not the best mix. Looking at the home, I switched up all the add-ons. Command Center's finishing up. You know, looking at the units lost, he's lost quite a bit. He is hurting. He is hurting. He is getting every single unit he can. I got Marines walled in with the tanks, which is kind of weird. We're going to kill off these Stalkers. Stalkers and tanks are about a 1-to-1 trade as far as, you know, economy goes. Every time you kill a Stalker, that's fantastic. And so he's just going to continue warping in these Zealots. And, you know, 12-minute 48 push point, and we're doing pretty good. Take our medivacs, try to pick up what we can, which is just going to be this one tank, and we're going to go home. What did we lose there? We lost 2,300 resources. That would be 4 tanks and a bunch of Marines. We didn't lose any medivacs. Medivacs are key. You got to keep building them throughout the game. And we still have a mass amount of production going on. We're up to a lot of barracks right now. We need more. So we'll probably drop a few more barracks here and there. Oversaturation, mass oversaturation. This is on purpose once again, because once this is done, I want to be able to land it here. And so we have probe right here. We have a pylon right here. It looks like he wants to pressure because he has the third base down. He's no longer spending on that. He's got a mass. How many gateways is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gateway push. And he's getting down robotics. And he's getting down the ability to build the Colossus. The all scary Colossus. And I saw this probe, but I didn't do anything about it. That was kind of a mistake. I should have done something about that. So he's got a nice observed placements, you know, like, will he see this medevac? The answer is, no, not really. And that's just a lot of luck on my part that he didn't see that. And a lot of it's skill. Usually this late in the game, people don't take watchtowers, so you're pretty safe of, like, finding paths, unusual travel paths, and I went for this one, this, you know, crowbar shape. And we're just going to go in and do some harassment. Looking at the income, he is very far ahead. Insanely far ahead. And we're going to try and clip that down a bit. Luckily, my army count is just a little bit better. We're going to pick off a few probes, get a pylon. I shouldn't have stemmed there. I stemmed because I thought he had a few zealots, but he actually brought his entire army. This is a good tell. So when a guy brings his entire army to defend against one drop, this is when you want to do multi-prong attacks. The goal of the multi-prong attack is to just hit in so many places that he can't. So we have one prong here set up to go after this base. We have a big prong going into his main base, and you don't even need to drop. Like, this is kind of mentality. The reason why you drop is get over cliffs and get over oceans. I want to hit here, here, and here. And they have to have timings. This one is going to be the one to land first. It's going to land right here, and it's going to draw away this whole army. Then this one will hit here. Then this one will hit and hit here. And it's going to work out pretty well. It's a monster drop, and it's a multi-prong job. Upgrades are the good one. Like, you want to go for the upgrades because, honestly, the second he falls behind on upgrades, this build is dead on arrival. I'm, you know, only 1-1. He's 2-2 already. So the more, you know, upgrades I can get. He actually canceled this one, I think, just out of fear. And so here comes the multi-prong. These guys just ran in, stemmed. These guys here ran in, and these guys were dropped. This thing was dropped. It was cleaned up, and you would think that I should be losing because I lost the bulk of my army, but in fact, you look at the supply, like, he actually has very few probes left. Looking at the income now, you know, it's actually up. So, you know, his income's actually plummeted, and the unfortunate part of this is that only, you know, 30 supply is the difference in an army, so actually we're about even right now. And he's got the pylon set up for the counter-attack. He actually doesn't have a choice. He has to counter-attack. He has to do insanely high amounts of damage. This is oversaturated yet. I haven't moved these guys right here enough. And I think I actually have these guys rally to the wrong place. Yeah. Lots of scans available. These are for DTs. These are for observers. And after that attack, I mealed up. That was a pretty big mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have saved him for, you know, emergencies. But he's got a lot of sentry come in, a lot of zealots. Oh, one Colossus! And he's got superior upgrades. I got one tank at a position. He's going for this one. Doesn't get cancelled. Nope. I'm not worried about cancelling. I set this flank. I want these guys to go after the back, try and get the Colossus, and these guys in the front to pick off, you know, this isn't a regular stalker ball. And Yeah, I'm kind of fortunate this guy can't manage his units right. Now this looks pretty bad, right? Because it looks like I'm losing, but I'm not. I have a lot of medivacs, a lot. And there's a 5th one. And I'm just going to continue rallying my units in because he's basically building out here, and he's, you know, using every single unit he's got to try and crush me. He has to kill every single unit that I have, plus some. You know, it's not like he has a big army at home just waiting to crush me. This is it. This is all he has. He's Protoss. He warps in. And he took 4 zealots away from the battle to kill off this command center. Very smart, because now it kind of sets me back a bit. I was planning to expand anyway, so I have minerals, obviously. But this base is pretty much mined out, so we can just move this over here. You know, match is pretty much over. 18-minute marker is hit. The damage was done. His army supply is nothing. And we can just, you know, fast forward ahead. Obviously, the game is about to end. And he just wants to survive. A lot of people, like a lot of people have problems like just losing, and I can feel for that. Sometimes I have problems losing too. I brought the tank along for shits and giggles to say like, hey, I got an 8-kill tank sitting here. He left. So yeah, this is Ohana LE, and Ohana LE is, I'll say a few things about it before we go. It's a 5-base map. You only get 5 bases, and then that's it. That means that you have to trade very effectively every time, and you're better off ending the match fast. This is true with Zerg, it's true with Protoss, it's true with Terran, especially true with Zerg. So on this map, you want to have a build set up, no matter what race you are, to push out before the 18-minute marker. If you can do that as any race, you'll do quite well on this map. This map is very vulnerable to Mutalisk harassment, very vulnerable to drops, because the distance from this base to this base, although it's somewhat smaller than others, it has a lot of ramps, and it has a lot of space. And, you know, base is very big. It takes a long time. Like, how long is it taking to get from, I would maybe 8-minute marker. I would have done this around, what, say 14 minutes? This will still be around the tanks. Okay, so here comes the big push. Now look at his army here. How long does it take him to get his army from here? And it dropped at 16 minutes. His army arrives at 17 minutes, and it's not organized all that well. All funneling into my units and trading inefficiently. So it actually takes a minute of travel time. So this is a very good map for drops. If you want to consider it. It's really good for multi-prong attacks, especially on someone who basically overreacts to drops. And yeah, if you want to crush Protoss, it's 12 to 18 minutes. Way to go. So my name is Troublmaker. Thank you for watching. And we're back.